Hey everybody, and away we go with another edition of our Pro Wrestling Plus show. Hey, it's great to have you with us. Thank you for giving us the honor of sharing this hour with you, and we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. So get your traveling duds ready, okay? Let me see. Some of the ports of call, I'm glad you asked. We'll be in Winnipeg. We'll be out in Dallas. We'll be visiting Kansas City. We'll see Southern Championship Wrestling. That is out of Atlanta, Georgia. John Michaels is featured there, incidentally, quite a wrestler. We have Matt Classic, Fan Forum, etc., etc. But we're going to travel first off to Winnipeg, and we're going to take a look at a couple of young guys in the ring. Ole Olsen goes up against Buddy Wayne. Good action in this one.
If there's a winner in this match, we're going to find out today who's going to win. And I'll guarantee you, both of them are capable of beating each other. So it should be interesting.
Well, Ole Olsen lands those chops just like Bulldog Bob Brown, and that one almost severs the head of Buddy Wayne. When you said he was a hard-nosed athlete, you weren't kidding, Bob. This Ole Olsen, one of the roughest, toughest customers to come out of the Western states.
Well, when you're watching a great television card like this, and you see this great piece of talent in the ring, hey, your promoter's doing the right thing. He wants to give everybody a look at all new faces. And this is what you got to have today, Joey. And he's doing a great job of promoting. So you people, when we're on tour, you're going to see the very, very best. You'll see the finest referees in professional wrestling. There'll be no hanky-panky going on. The referees are going to call them as they see them. It's the new lookout for our new wrestling organization.
All right, some up-and-coming stars mixed in with some real seasoned veterans like yourself, Ken Patera, Baron Von Raschke. The list goes on and on.
And by the way, Joe, next time Baron Von Raschke has to be interviewed, you'll have to do it, because I tell you what, he scares me.
All right. I guess I could do that for you, Bob. One little favor won't kill me, I guess. But let me tell you something about these two young men. I think they've met before, either in Vancouver or maybe the home of Ole Olsen in Seattle, Washington. But this young Buddy Wayne, he's been taking a licking so far, but Bob, that was a snap suplex and a good one at that.
You know what? I really don't know if there's a relationship or not, but you know what? There was a great wrestler by the name of Ole Olsen from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I don't know if this is his son.
Wow, Bob, sorry to cut you off, but Ole Olsen picked him up off that top rope and dropped him right on his tummy, tum-tum, if you will. That one could damage the ribs.
Well, I'll tell you what, and hey, he left him there momentarily. He should have went right after him, Joe, you know.
Oh, one more time. This Ole Olsen is more sadistic than I thought. A real powerhouse, though, Bob.
A lot like Bulldog Bob Brown.
Yeah, okay. Ole Olsen right now picking up Buddy Wayne by the hair, and that big knee lands in a midsection, and Ole Olsen has been around long enough to at least know he's got to keep to work on that one body part, and it looks like he's going after the stomach.
I'll tell you what, he really does look like the veteran of the wrestling world for many, many years, Ole Olsen. I'm going to find out maybe at intermission time or sometime during the cut. Maybe it is his son. But I'll tell you, if he's any relationship to Ole Olsen, he'll be a good one, because Ole Olsen was one of the best.
All right, a true compliment coming from Bulldog Bob Brown, and Ole Olsen landing a big right hand to that midsection. And the ribs are going to be sore tomorrow on Mr. Buddy Wayne, a newcomer to the WFWA, and he is in a lot of pain right now trying to regain his marbles there. The leg shaking a little bit. I don't know if he can continue, Bob. Oh, landing him right on that knee, doing some added damage to that rib cage.
Well, the match is far from being over. I tell you, Ole Olsen has taken it right to him. It's a real, real important match for Ole Olsen, and he really knows it. But all I can tell you is, he's not going to beat Buddy Wayne in this fashion. I'll tell you, he'll have to do a little bit more than that.
Big power slam there.
First of all, it's not a power slam, Joey. It's a reverse suplex.
Reverse suplex. I stand corrected. But Ole Olsen didn't stay long enough for the pin. It's been all Ole Olsen in the last 5 minutes of this match on Buddy Wayne. But let's not count the young man from Vancouver out yet. wrestling game for a few years now.
It's a sad state of affair, you know, when you let a guy like Ole Olsen get the best of you, and he keeps on top of him. This is what the markings of a great athlete should do in the ring, and he's taking it right to him, and he's punishing Buddy Wayne now for the last 2 or 3 minutes, and Buddy Wayne better come out of it.
All right.
It might be over.
He did just that, Bob, by picking him up and dropping him back. But he's gonna need some more time than that to regain his marbles. And Ole Olsen, a big double sledgehammer to the back. This has been a great match, Bob.
Well, you know, people at home watching television, hey, this is a great match. I like this match. I get excited. I know you sit there being as dull as you are, hey, but I'm with the match. I'm excited. Every move that they do, I'm right with them.
Sometimes things are better left unsaid, Bob Brown. I'll tell you something, Buddy Wayne has got to regain his composure in this one. It's been all Ole Olsen, and Olsen going right back to work by picking him up by the hair, breaks it before the count of 5. And he's going to work. The one thing I like about this Ole Olsen is, Bob, he uses that whole 20 by 20-foot area in that ring.
I hope he's certainly on tour with me. I like this guy. I like what he's doing in the ring. I'll tell you, he's showing me that he's capable of doing a lot of things. And I like what I saw. And I haven't saw him for a long time.
All right, well, Buddy Wayne has a severe red chest after all those chops landed by Ole Olsen. And Olsen's doing the wrong thing here, asking for some support from the crowd. And Buddy Wayne ducks and lands a big right hand. And Buddy Wayne might have said enough's enough, because Olsen is grabbing onto his jaw. And the fans love this because Buddy Wayne landed some lefts and rights. Might have a little boxing background.
Oh, my goodness. He's throwing those haymakers. Now he's got Ole Olsen on the move. Why don't he move right in? You see, and stop looking at the wrestling fans or the referee. Get right to it.
Big whip coming here, and a big back body drop, and Olsen with the stomp up and up, big clothesline.
My.
Holy cow. Bulldog Bob Brown, and his arm is on the rope, Bob. That one saved the bell.
Well, he's got Ole Olsen in big problems right now. And I tell you, he'll come out of it, I'm sure.
Well, Ole Olsen picking him up, and Buddy Wayne slides out of that one. Go for a small package here, Bob. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count, and Olsen's got the front.
Oh, tremendous. A tremendous hold by Ole Olsen. Hey.
As advertised earlier, our next port of call is Atlanta, Georgia. Southern Championship Wrestling. It is there we're going to see John Michaels. He takes on Big Jim Bryant.
And sir, why don't you just scoot over a little bit, Bonnie, and let a man get in here and talk on this microphone.
Excuse me.
I want this match to stop right now. I want to know what John Michaels has for a surprise.
Well, I don't know, sir. He said he had a big surprise if you stuck your nose into his business, and he just might consider that your man, Chick Donovan, is out here at ringside as doing just that. So if I were you, I'd be careful.
What we're doing is we're just standing here watching John Michaels. We have humiliated John Michaels and embarrassed him on national TV. We've painted his neck red to show the redneck that he really is. And now we're just out here looking, because I told you before that I don't like surprises, and I want to know what the surprise is.
Well, he hasn't told anyone. He's just said that if you stuck your nose into his business again, he would have the ultimate humiliation. And all I can tell you is if I were you, I don't think I'd want to find out what that was. And as you can see right now at ringside, Chick Donovan standing there and showing off a little bit,
Or after
cheering
the
on.
now the Chickster, Joe.
That's right. And Bonnie,
You can't tell Joe something, you know, he's hard to understand. He's from Georgia, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
all right. Now this time Bryant went in for that big splash. John Michaels moved out of the way.
If he'll just beat him and put him in the middle of the ring, I'll paint his neck red today. I want to know what the surprise is. Joe Panicino, you know, Bonnie Blackstone, and you know.
No, sir.
Now I want to know what it is.
No idea.
We do not know what the surprise or the humiliation that he has.
Well, I am the king of the humiliations. When somebody wants to be humiliated, they come after me.
1, 2.
But not enough.
All right, John Michaels picks up Bryant. Big fist. All right, now Bryant rakes the eyes. You know, Bryant has been taking a lot of shortcuts in this match. Picks him up, goes down for a big slam. 1, 2, and Michaels able to kick out.
See how slow the referee is to getting over there, don't you? I think somebody's been paid off around here.
All right, there's another big slam. A big elbow, and Bryant is down. 1, 2, and Michaels kicks out again. Chick Donovan edging on and cheering on. Here he goes for another big slam. Wait a minute, he takes him into the corner, brings him back, rolls up. 1, 2, 3, that's it.
Hey, Chick, forget it.
All right, Chick Donovan goes into the ring.
And now Chick Donovan.
All right, Chick Donovan attacking John Michaels. Here comes Samuel Kidd. It looks like we're going to have a 3-on-1.
This is a despicable situation.
All right,
Oh,
Michaels
Chick
ducks
Donovan
that
misses.
out of the way, scoots through the legs of Bryant. He's in the corner. He's able to get out of the ring. Oh, now look at this. He's saying no way. All right, in body, right now. Luckily for John Michaels, he was able to scoot out of the ring.
Well, Bryant and Kent not exactly liking the way things were going there. Well, they tried to ambush their young opponent, but fortunately he was able to escape underneath the ring ropes, got to safety, and quite a finale, right? Okay, time out now. Time out. Yes, sir. Then we're back. We travel to Dallas, Texas, right here on Pro Wrestling Plus. Pro Wrestling Plus, yes, Dallas, Texas. That's where we're at. World-class championship wrestling. We're going to see Steve Cox. He goes into the ring against Killer Tom Brooks. And these two put on a great show, great action, great moves. Well, why am I talking about it? Let's look. Here we go. Steve Cox coming out the winner there with some great rapid-fire action out of Dallas, Texas. Off now to Memphis, Tennessee. Tag team action. Dutch Mantell and Robert Fuller, the one combination. They're ready to take on the opposition in the form this time of Alan Yates and David Elder. And for a change, Fuller manages to keep things pretty clean.
With Robert Fuller and Dutch Mantell stepping in the ring. And they are going to be going against a couple of young guys.
And now
Alan
let's
Yates
get
and
some
David
more
Elder.
class out here. Let's get the dirty white boy. Now, you need to scoot down. We're having nothing but class. Come out here.
You can sit by, guys. Say, I don't want to sit by.
Come on over here, dirty white
You
boy.
can have it. No,
It's good to have class out here, you know.
Pleasure to be out here with class. You know, I've heard that there's a new owner in the CWA by the name of Robert Fuller, the Tennessee Stud. Well, you know, it's been a long time coming because of Jarrett sold this territory years ago, as everyone well knows. And Jeff, can you believe this Jeff Jarrett kid? He's just like his old man. He's a gutless, nothing happening individual that never was and never will be. And as far as Jerry the King Lawler, hey, I've gotten a ring when I've had busted arms, my head busted open. Hey, that never stopped me from a commitment.
That's the difference between a man like you, dirty white boy, and a wimp like Jerry Lawler.
Exactly. You know, I'm sitting back here looking at Dave Brown. You know, Dave, the reason I'm out here today is the Tennessee Stud's taking a good look at me for commentating because you may be out of a job.
I've got to laugh about that.
Well, you may be out of a job, too. And as far as Calhoun's concerned, he's history, baby.
Calhoun should have been replaced a long time ago. I don't know where they got this announcer.
Roger, they've got a long way to go before they take over, let me tell
Because
you.
they know exactly how to beat somebody up, and that's kind of like my style. I like it.
They are a fine-tuned machine. Look at them.
Kick him, Robert. See, I told Robert pull that move right there. Oh, absolutely. Look at that stomp. Turn out the lights. The party's over, baby.
Exactly right.
It's just like they say in the barber shop. Next.
Yes, Virginia, miracles do happen. Fuller and Mantell managed to keep it clean and still win the match in Memphis. Continental Wrestling Federation up next. New guy showed up in the form of Kevin Dillinger. He's up against Danny Davis Jr., the junior heavyweight champion. And the championship is on the line. Now, I want you to watch closely for an appearance here by Kamala, the Ugandan headhunter. Brace your feet.
Here's myself.
Well, I tell you what you can do. If you just want to leave, I can take care of this show all by myself. I've done it before.
Okay.
I'll take care of the show all by myself.
In the meantime, Mr. Kevin Dillinger, Alan Martin takes Danny Davis over, and whoa, nobody at home. No one at home on that one.
That's with experience. That's experience of being a champion. Danny Davis knew when to get out of the way. He read his opponent. He read Dillinger whether he had a mask on or not. And now he is fired up as a champion should be. Let's see what he's got inside himself now.
All right. To the side of the head of Mr. Martin. And again, it's Nightmare Danny Davis taking this match to Kevin Dillinger. Hot back body drop. Davis following up with that fist. Davis now going for his own suplex up. Good suplex by Nightmare Danny Davis. Goes
Power
to the pin.
moves like that, got him the belt. But it didn't get him the pin this time.
He powers out on the count of 2. Nightmare Danny Davis taking Dillinger in. Good reversal by Dillinger, but it's Davis. Whoa, what a shot.
He's pinning the wrong
referee.
guy. He's pinning the wrong guy. I'll go in and make the count if you want. Larry Brock needs to get pinned. He shouldn't have been in the way. That's a bad referee. Bad officiating, if you ask me.
Well, certainly Danny Davis, nobody at home on that one. Danny Davis did not mean that contact to Larry Brock. Whoa! And Brock caught again.
He's disorientated. Brock doesn't know where he is in the ring half the time.
No, he doesn't. Now, there's that neck breaker. Great neck breaker, but there's no one to count.
Kevin Dillinger's out. They're both out. He's got a 5 count.
We need a... We need a referee.
You're out, Danny. It don't matter. You don't have a referee. You don't have a referee, pal.
He has him pinned.
It doesn't matter.
What is... Wait a minute. What is this?
I don't know.
Who is this?
I don't know. Look.
What is this in the ring?
Maybe it's a referee. Maybe it's a second referee. I don't know.
What a monster. Whoa, what a splash. And again, another splash. What is it?
It's a 3-time. I don't know, but I think it's great. I think it's great.
And who is this guy with a...
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
What is going on
I haven't seen these guys before in my life. They must have just got here. They must have just got here. The referee. There you go. Make the count. There you go.
I did not see them in the dressing. We got...
What a great referee.
Wait just a minute.
He made that count just in time. Great. Here
We
you go.
have a new...
There you go.
Junior heavyweight champion.
What a great match. What a well-deserved win for that man right there. He has worked long and hard. He has worked long and hard. And he has finally accomplished it.
Tisk, tisk, by foul means, Dillinger winning the junior heavyweight title there from Danny Davis. I don't believe it. Okay, break time right now. Then we go to Atlantic Coast wrestling action and to Kansas City, right here on Pro Wrestling Plus. Plus, we're going to Atlantic Coast action. That's out of the Carolinas, North Carolina to be specific, and we have a championship match. The heavyweight title is up for grabs in that territory. This all started out as a tournament, and so now we've got down to the finalists in that territory. The finalist being Don Carnoti. He battles it out against Doug Summers. Don Carnoti, Doug Summers, and take a look at who will be the heavyweight title holder as a result of this one.
We'll keep him back this time.
No telling what's going to happen as Doug Summers eases his way back into the ring. Boom! Wanted to grab Don by underneath, but couldn't do it. Don's not going to let him back in that ring. About ready to slap him right off of the top rope when he climbed back up.
You have to be thinking about like what Don's thinking. Is Doug playing possum? And
Well, Baby Doll, we're not going to miss any of this action for the television audience. We're going to take a quick commercial break. If anything breaks during the commercial, we'll come back and show them an update highlight of it. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, Baby Doll, while we were away on the commercial break, there's no doubt Don Kernodle threw, literally thrusted the pretty boy Duck Summers out of the ring. There,
Sleeper, that's it. If he's got it hooked in, it's what we said last week. Good night, Irene. Good night, Doug Summers.
With the pretty boy with the flowers on his trunk. Maybe he's going to take a nap. Got to the rope. Won't happen this time. It's been vicious while we were away. Watch Don Kernodle, though. He is going to pick him up by the feet. The ref tells him let him go, and he does. They were outside the ring while we were away. He wanted Duck Summers tried to get back in the ring. They had a few what you call claws across the eye and the hair. Jerked him back into the ring finally. Duck Summers being jerked into the ring.
Too close to the rope, though. Just a little too close. If he'd been a foot away, there would have been no way they would have gone down for the 3 count. Doug would have been reaching for that rope that wouldn't have been there. Come on, Doug.
Duck Summers down on the mat and a knee right across the forehead. Don Kernodle got him down. Count of 2. Not quite.
Don's going to have to reach down in that bag of tricks if he's going to pin Doug Summers this way, because there's no way. Doug Summers has got so many matches underneath.
In the ropes again.
He just casually points over.
He was locked in and up over the ropes, and that'll be an automatic break hold in the ACW. And Duck Summers comes back and kicks Don Kernodle and lays him right up into the midsection. Now he stomps on the side of your chest in the rib cage, and that's a good way to put you down for a few moments.
Oh, catching those short ribs, it'll put you down anytime, no matter how much you've got going for you.
Oh! Count of 2. Don almost found himself asleep
about a 2.5.
This is for the Atlantic Coast Wrestling Heavyweight Championship title. The belt lying over here beside Baby Doll and I. Either Duck Summers is going to retain this belt, or we may have a title switch. We don't know. It's all up to the 2 guys in the ring.
Belts, don't I, Doc?
Yes, you do, dear. You really do.
Yes, the gold and silver goes very well with what I'm wearing.
I like that blue tonight. I mean, really, I thought we were in Atlantic City there for a while.
I haven't worn this in Atlantic City. I like Las Vegas or Reno a little bit better. Atlantic City is just, Las Vegas is
sun's nice out there. I like the sun out.
Oh, yeah. Go out and get your tan during the week. During the day, go gamble all night.
Don Kernodle just literally leveled Duck Summers right against the rope. A couple of those trucks.
Don hooked the leg. Oh.
Got to hook that leg to get him pinned, but up against the rope, Don, of course, laid a couple of heavy blows to Duck Summers in the pretty boy's chest. Now he picks him up.
Another touch drop. Oh.
That'll cost your hemorrhoids right quick. 2. Up there's the rope again. Sometimes it seems like the ring just isn't big enough in a title match.
That's true, but Doug Summers knows where he's at in that ring. That's just experience and knowing where you're at, and that'll save you a pinfall.
Yes. Foot right across the forehead of Duck Summers, but Don Kernodle. Now he lays it to him with a closed fist, and Duck Summers comes right back on him.
Breaks right across his eyes. Oh. That's such a
dazzles him a bit, and then Duck Summers lays one into the side, near the temple, right into the chin. He's got that hand taped up, too.
Yeah, turned him away from the referee, popped him right across the face.
And then rakes him right across the hairy chest, and I mean literally, nails and all. Pow! You hear that over here, Baby Doll?
Ooh.
Now Don Kernodle comes right back on Duck Summers, lays into him with a couple of elbows, right into the head. Then up blocks it, now into the corner rope. Nails him good.
Head right into the corner rope. Again
into the corner rope. That turnbuckle doesn't give either. Now Don Kernodle wants it down, pin 1, 2, and Duck Summers is able to kick out.
He just wasn't balanced. The weight just wasn't there. It wasn't balanced down. Just couldn't get it balanced.
A fist right to the chin of Don Kernodle by Doug Summers. Then he slaps him across. Now Don Kernodle comes back. An exchange of slaps up 2. Face then rakes him across the eye.
Instead of taking punishment and going toe-to-toe, Doug Summers just reaches out and just claws those eyes just to get the cheapest shot out he can.
He really does. Both these wrestlers beginning to tire a bit, but they're both physical men. I would have thought they were worn out a couple of weeks back when the match went on between these two for the championship. Duck Summers now reaching for the trucks. You can see Duck Summers where the referee cannot see it.
Every shot he can, doesn't he?
He is good at that. He really is.
He's obviously got Don Kernodle in a bad position. Then he has to reach back and grab the charm.
But wasn't it you, Doll, that told me if you can get away with it, do it?
Yeah, but that there's a way of cheating and being classy about it, and there's a way of cheating and being cheap about it.
You were always classy about it.
I sure tried. I kept guessing, didn't I? I didn't do the normal, ordinary things. I mean, throwing a chair over the top of the cage.
Headbutt by Don Canoodle. Duck Summers is going to learn you don't crawl up to the pride of the USA. Slams him now. Duck Summers with a couple of fists to the forehead. Then they begin to slap each other on the mat. You can hear it. Hard blows across the chest. Then Duck Summers claws him across the beard. Now picks him up. Vicious match going on for the championship of the ACW.
This definitely, I mean, we've been saying that Atlantic Coast Wrestling, we've got the best wrestlers, but these guys have just been battling all out, fighting from the word go, haven't they?
They really haven't, not a moment. Woo!
Boom! Yeah! Yeah, that's
Don
what we've been
Canoodle
looking
just
for.
about planted Duck Summers.
Seems like Don was just waiting for that open spot.
How'd you like that plow to plow your
There
guard?
goes Cobra Clutch.
Let's see what happens now.
There's
Duck
no escape
Summers.
out of that. There's no way. There's no way.
Uh-oh! Who's this guy here? Some masked man coming in.
I've never seen him.
I've never seen this guy either. The bell rings. Don Canoodle is into it in the ring. With who? I don't know. And Duck Summers now polarizes him. Duck Summers. Don Canoodle's going to need help. Here comes Sam Houston. Here comes Sam Houston. Houston's in the ring. His hat's off. He lays into the masked man. He lays into it. It is all havoc has broke loose in the ring. Houston came out. Where did this masked guy? Who is he?
I have no idea who this guy is.
Neither do I.
I know a lot of the wrestlers. I mean, this is our wrestler. I don't know, and I have never seen this man before.
Don Canoodle being polarized by the shirt being torn off. Sam Houston is hot. All of a sudden, now Don Canoodle goes after the masked guy.
I know who that is. I know who it is.
Who is it, Baby Doll?
Colt Steele.
Is that Coach Steele?
It has to be.
That has got to be Coach Steele.
It has got to be.
Duck Summers has just come over and grabbed his belt here off the table. That has to be.
Well, after all that, what happens? Well, you saw it. Colt Steele manages to interfere, and as a result, both the fighters are DQ'd, so there is no heavyweight titleist at the moment in that territory. Okay. We're going now to Kansas City. We see Steve Cox in action. He's in action this time around against a man by the name of Russell Sapp.
Your opening event of the hour, one fall with the 10-minute television time limit. Introducing first, Columbia, Missouri, 234 pounds, Russell Sapp, Esquire. And introducing his opponent, from the University of Tulsa in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 237 pounds. Please welcome Steve Cox. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. After the match. All right, one fall, 10-minute time limit. Bob Geigel here with me. Welcome, Bob. And I know you've got some great interest in this match. A newcomer,
That's
Steve
right,
Cox.
College athlete out of the University of Tulsa. Big, impressive-looking kid. Football player, amateur wrestler. Got his hands full. He's got Russell Sapp, who's really been making strides forward.
Well, you know, Steve Cox was an All-American football player at the University of Tulsa, Bob. And if that's not credentials enough, he was trained in the sport of professional wrestling by none other than Bill Watts.
That's right. Bill Watts had a lot of background from the University of Oklahoma. And, oh, look at that move.
Very
that was
nice
impressive
move.
Yes.
Good move by Steve Cox. Once again, Bob, congratulations to you for bringing another exceptional athlete to the World Wrestling Alliance.
Well, I'm happy to be able to bring him.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing him because I just enjoy seeing him out here every week. And this is a tremendous athlete. I think we're watching the future of professional wrestling right here when we watch athletes like Steve Cox.
A lot of new young wrestlers in the wrestling profession right now. Simpson brothers, you're going to see pretty soon.
Well, we had a little opportunity to see him right at the very beginning of the show, and later on this hour we'll be watching him in a match against John Tatum and Jack Victory, and that should be a tremendous match. And I want to remind the fans at home, Bob, our main event this hour, the World Heavyweight title match between Gentleman Chris Adams and Mike George. Right now, Russell Sapp reverting to a little bit of a shortcut here and there, trying to get back in this match, but Steve Cox just the one step ahead of Russell Sapp.
I think Russell might be a little lighter than Steve Cox. I think Cox, what's he weigh, 235?
Yeah, right about there, Bob. And you can see there's not an ounce of fat on him. He's a finely conditioned man.
He looks like he's been in the gymnasium a few times. He's got good mud definition.
Yes, he definitely found his way to the gym. Well, like we said before, he was an All-American at the University of Tulsa. And I had an opportunity to see Tulsa. And he was a tremendous football player and now a tremendous wrestler, trying to work his way up in the ranks of the World Wrestling Alliance. And he's got a very promising future. Good high backdrop. Russell stabbed down hard, and this is a very hard mat, too. Good elbow, and if you notice, he didn't get a lot of height, but he came down very quickly, which didn't give Russell Sapp any opportunity to try to move out of the way.
Now, Steve Cox has got the match under control right now. I think Russell Sapp has got to start getting with it, or he's going to find himself so far behind he won't be able to catch up.
Well, Russell Sapp's managed to lose more matches than he's won, but he's been competitive, and he's no pushover by any means. And once again, Steve Cox showing exceptional quickness, moving out of the way. Steve Cox up high. Beautiful monkey flip, bringing Sapp down. Follows with a nice high drop kick by Steve Cox. And again, a second drop kick. Steve Cox looks like he's got the match well under control. Look at this, a Russian leg sweep, and well executed at that. Count of 1, 2, and 3, that's it. Beautiful maneuver by Steve Cox. The winner of your first event, Steve Cox.
We got a timeout right here, okay? We're going to be right back after these messages with your Matt Classic and your letters on Fan Forum. Hang in there. We're right back. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Plus, Matt Classic time. We're going to take a look at a couple of matches out of the NWA that we considered to be classic, going back a couple of years. First, we'll see Barry Windham, a fine athlete who's both quick and stylish, goes up against Nord Fleming. And we're back into the early 1988 era for this one on our Matt Classic. And number 2 for Matt Classic. And again, back into the early 1988 era, and again with the National Wrestling Alliance. This time, we are focusing on the Varsity Club, as they seem to have the ability to absolutely demolish any opponents that they might face. Now, time for Fan Forum. A quick boo at some of the letters that have come through the mails. Let's do it quickly. Andrew Johnson, Vancouver. The last I heard of Dutch Savage is a few years ago on KCPG on a wrestling show called Big Time Wrestling out of Portland, Oregon in the U.S., which is no longer on the air in Canada. Dutch Savage with a fractured voice, and he was quite a character. I enjoyed him. Anybody knows where he is? We'd like to know, but there's a clue. This is Pugwash, Nova Scotia. A great show. I've been watching it ever since we installed cable 3 years ago. Love to see the different wrestlers that you have to offer, especially the old guys like Leo Burke, the Beast, Edward Carpentier, and others. Also enjoyed seeing the Stomper Archie Goldie. Love to see if you could find a video of him. I've also been following the career of Owen Hart. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. Keep up the good work. We have wrestling on our television 4 times a week, and as a rule, if I'm not working, I'll watch them all and also tape them. Have quite a collection at present. As for the Canadian Film Board having film or videos of older wrestling programs, I know they do, because I am a member and have rented some of them in the past. I'd appreciate seeing some of the older wrestlers on your show. Bruce Brownell out of Pugwash, Nova Scotia. We'll do what we can in that regard. Here's Barb Vanderhook of Edmonton. How are you? I have a few questions I hope you can answer. All the questions have to deal with the CNWA, the new wrestling association in Calgary. Do you know approximately when it'll be starting and whether or not it'll be coming to Edmonton, Alberta? Well, it's already in gear in Calgary and will be here within the next week on TSN Wrestling, okay? The only wrestling we get up here is the WWF, and I much prefer the smaller federation. My last question is, what happened to all the Stampede wrestlers? Will they be fighting for Fred May, the promoter of the Canadian National Wrestling Alliance? I hope you can air this. I'd really like to know if we will indeed be getting the CNWA in Edmonton. Barb Vanderhook. And Barb, yes, A lot of the stars of Stampede Wrestling will initially be involved. In addition, talking to Fred, I know that there are plans to bring in an awful lot of fresh talent as well. So we're looking forward to a very healthy Canadian National Wrestling Alliance. This is from Richard Wilson of Weston, Ontario. Greatly enjoy your shows, of which you are a part, and am in agreement with other friends concerning your admonishment of the Blackhearts recently over the Pete Montana incident. That's where they slapped him around and knocked him down, and I don't put up with that sort of garbage. Anyway, they were happy that I put the Blackhearts in their place. Weird pair, incidentally. Now, on to my question. The name of Hart seems to be a major force in wrestling. Brett, Bruce, and Owen are well known to me. I realize that this question may have likely been asked before, but I ask anyway. Could you run down a history of this family's wrestling celebrities, their order within the family, i.e. who is older and what age, and what belts and trophies have been held by this family? Please exclude Hugh Hart from your answer. This is Richard Wilson of Weston, Ontario. I'm going to keep that on file because we're running out of time on this show, but I'd be happy to answer that in some show in the future. Okay, Jason Singer, Montreal. A while back, you ran on a match on the Pro Wrestling Plus from the National Wrestling Alliance between the Midnight Express and the Samoan SWAT team. I enjoyed this match very much. Could you please show it again? I'm not sure whether we can. Also, why don't you show some of the NWA matches like you used to on Pro Wrestling Plus? Well, NWA has been reorganizing. Obviously, the Canadian National Wrestling Alliance has been reorganizing. So the net result has been that for a while we were kind of drifting apart, but I understand that negotiations are underway. I'd love to have NWA action on this show because they provide great action, and I'm sure we're going to get it. Okay, this one is from Ingersoll, Ontario. That's it. How are you? I'd like to say how much I enjoy Stampede Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Plus. I have a request from me to Stu Hart for a Matt Classic starring Jake Roberts. And does anybody know of any matches in which Jerry Blackwell and Jake managed to work together in tag team wrestling? And did ever anybody wrestle any of the family of Hart, such as Brett and Owen? Jim the Anvil, I found out recently, the big guy Jim Neidhart is Bret Hart's brother-in-law. That's quite right. About Florida Championship Wrestling, have you heard anything about Paul Orndorff, known as Mr. Wonderful? You commented once that possibly he could have died. He had a few incredible matches with champion Hulk Hogan. I understand that he may be working behind the scenes with WWF. I'm unsure about that with Orndorff. I'd like further information. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see. My two favorite wrestlers are Davey Boy Smith and Owen Hart. It was a shame that the WWF let Owen go, and instead they keep these 400-pound meatheads around. Sincerely, Gary Robson. That's out of Ingersoll, Ontario. Some interesting letters this time around. I'm going to tell you how you can get a hold of us. I'm glad you asked. Fan Forum, Box 807, Station J, Calgary, T2A 1P0. Got that? Fan Forum, Box 807, Station J, Calgary, T2A 1P0. Thank you for joining us on the show. We'll look forward to seeing you next time when again we have another edition